Oh, I got to lean in.
What is up, everybody? Happy Monday night. Thank you to everybody for joining the season finale of, I think, this is season 14 of The Real Housewives of New Jersey. And if you guys have been following us for any time, New Jersey is the one show out of the franchise that usually gets the comments pop. That was Danielle. Danielle threw something at Sammy. That gets the comments popping. That gets the callers popping. Last season was a little bit of a trudge, but this season, surprisingly, has actually been fun, and that's because of you guys, our panelists. Hi, Danny. Hi, Cortez and Sammy, and then also our viewers. I see we've got our regulars here: Sean, Art World. We've got Ashley the Mocha Barbie, who we've seen, Amanda Kay. Thank you guys so much for joining us. Welcome back, Sammy. Let's start with you, Sammy. How are you doing tonight?
I'm doing well, Jamie. How are you doing?
I'm doing fantastic, blessed, highly favored. When I go home, my husband opens the door for me and welcomes me with open arms.
That husband with the boobs.
Okay.
Cortez, how are you doing?
I'm doing okay. It is Monday, you know.
Yes.
Got a weekend coming up this weekend. Excited for that,
Ooh.
you know. And yeah, that's pretty much about it. Shout out to Kiki Davis, who said it's their first.
It's her first live. Hey, Kiki.
Hey, Kiki.
Well, hey, is this Kiki from Miami, or is this
right?
Kiki
That's
Shelfer?
Kiki Bars.
I mean, Kiki is not just playing now. Hey, Kiki, welcome, Kiki.
Danny, how are you doing?
I'm good. My man's in the pool house. Somebody else's pool house.
Somebody else's pool house, not mine.
I don't even know who he is, but I just wanted to ask Sammy, how was that turmeric shot, baby?
Delicious.
Turmeric is disgusting.
It's disgusting.
It's good, but it's
supposedly
good for you, but it's disgusting.
I gotta have it with ginger.
I don't even know what to do.
I need with ginger. Yeah, I do.
So before we get started, everybody, I already see Art World telling you guys y'all need to hit this like button, but I'm going to go ahead and add to that and say subscribe. This past couple of months has been slow at the lean. As you guys know, we had a very eventful fall and winter. Bravo tried to kill us with all of these shows. And so Housewives of Jersey was the only one that we have been recapping, but a lot of shows are starting to come back over the next couple of months. So if you want to follow us, if you like what you're seeing, hit that subscribe button so you know exactly when new episodes drop, when lives go, because I can guarantee we have a lot of fun over here, and a lot of these new shows that are popping back look like they're going to be some mess. So let's go ahead and just jump right into it. The meat and potatoes of this was really that lunch scene, so we're going to spend a little more time on that part, but we'll recap some stuff that kind of led up to that. We recapped the dinner with Trey and that attorney. We kind of talked about it last week. No new info was really presented. Everybody in that group already knew Marge was talking to the lady. The viewers all knew Marge was talking to the lady. But just like the viewers, the ladies either didn't care or were in denial about it. So Fessler arrives at Marge's. They're going to recap that because, as you remember, Fessler decided she did not want to go to the lunch after Marge made it clear that she was not happy about it. So Marge kind of informs her what was being told to her. She shows her the picture of that iconic funeral arrangement of flowers that she sent, saying well wishes and rest in peace to their dignity. Fessler reiterates, to her, hey, the lunch was presented to me that it wasn't a bash session. I think Fessler is still trying to cool down Marge and say no, the ladies weren't bashing. Marge has it in her head that this was absolutely a takedown Marge lunch. She asks Marge if she's worried that stuff is going to get brought up, to which Marge replies, no, I'm not really worried. I don't do anything in the dark or behind people's backs, so there's nothing they could expose me for. And I'm like, nothing? Really? Nothing in the dark, but we'll see. I say this every single season. This lady is the ultimate Machiavellian villain, but somehow ends every single season with her hands clean and nothing sticks to her. So maybe she's got a point. Dolo arrives. And she also is reiterating to Marge that it wasn't a burn session. Teresa was just kind of talking to them about some of the proof that she had that Marge had been talking to these exes, that she felt Marge had been collaborating over the years, and it had really been causing her a lot of stress. So we get flashbacks to this over the last couple of years that Teresa's kind of suspected Marge has been doing this for a while. Marge reiterates that she has never spoken to the ex until after New York. Now, be reminded of that date because later on in the episode, Marge contradicts herself again. So she says she never talked to the ex until New York. Dolo doesn't understand why she would even talk to her to begin with. And Marge says, well, it's, once Teresa and I were at each other's throats, I was talking to these people, and it was mainly about Louis. I was concerned, blah, 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 blah. Who here thinks that Marge was actually concerned? But Marge says that she never spoke on the phone with this lady, only DMs, and she never has seen or met her. And I thought this was interesting because Dolores specifically asked, did you meet with this person? And Marge denies. Dolo isn't buying it. She says the ex knows far too much for someone to not be feeding information to her. Marge is mad that Trey is having the hate summit. And Dolo said, well, if you remember, last year before New York, you also had a summit. Marge says, no, that was just reunion prep. And Dolores replies, by the way, thank you very much for not inviting me to that. And Marge is like, I did invite you. And Dolores loses it. She cussed that lady out so bad. And I'm going to tell you guys now, if you have not watched this uncensored on Peacock, please watch this scene.
You know what? I knew to watch it uncensored. Like, I got to watch this uncensored because...
Baby, Marge got cussed out. I thought Dolores was going to hit her. And Dolores is at him. She's like, you lying... We're definitely gonna get demonetized if I say this. See, thank you, Alana Ayala. You just sent us a $9.99 super chat. I'm not gonna cuss because we need to keep that and put that in the bank. Dolores is cussing her out. Dolores is saying, you never invited me. You never told me about it. And Marge is like, I did. Maybe it was in passing, but I said it. And Dolores is adamant that Marge is lying through her teeth. And in her confessional, she says that she feels Marge is doing this to make her look like a bad person and a liar in front of Teresa. Jen Fessler kind of plays mediator, and the two put their stuff off to the side, with Dolo saying, I only cuss people out like that when they're like my sister. And I'm like, in the confessionals, you dogging Marge out. Now you're this. I know y'all have thoughts. Cortez, we'll start with you. What did you think of this?
She definitely cussed her out. I ran to the Peacock there, but I knew Peacock was going to give me what I needed. But it was just seeing a housewife just go off like that and hearing the all the F-bombs and the see you next Tuesdays. It was good to see. Now, I will say, I kind of believe Marge mentioned it because the way that she tried to paint it at first was like she had a clear conversation. But then later on, she was just like, it wasn't a serious thing. I mentioned like, you should come by. I believe she did make some kind of notion for her to come by, but I don't think that it was clear to Dolores what the meeting or what she was coming up with for. So I think Marge is still in the wrong for that because, you may have said come by, but if you didn't say come by for this reason or whatever, like she tried to fix it at the end by saying it was in passing, like it was a serious conversation. But girl, just say, you know what, you didn't do it, because realistically, it seemed like Dolores. People were saying online that Dolores seemed kind of like staged in that moment. I don't think so. I think she was truly upset. But it's just weird seeing Dolores be so upset because it's like she gets so upset this season at the weirdest things, and I just don't understand. Like, I'm mad at Jen, and then now she's like going off on Marge. Like the way she was going off, you would think they would not be friends anymore. But she ain't going nowhere, child. So
they ain't going nowhere.
But I do think Marge mentioned something about her coming over, but I don't think it was ever clear as to what that something was, or it was like a clear, invitation as she gave the other women that came. I'll say that.
Yeah. Danny, what about you?
So I'm on the fence. Real quick, Antonio, yes, it's a Gold Cup. I'll send you the link in the chat, in our text group. But I'm on the fence because when I first watched it, I did think that she going off like that because she don't want to make it seem to Teresa like she knew it was going to be a takedown meeting, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. But Sammy brought up a good point, how Marge changed her tune twice within 5 seconds. about it was a conversation and it was just nothing big. I just said it in passing. So me realizing that if I take what she said the second time and say it in passing, I believe she might have said, we're getting together the night before the reunion, you should come over.
Yeah.
And that's it. She didn't add all that other stuff. What stuck out to me most in this scene was this was the beginning of us seeing Jen Fessler thinking, what the hell did I sign up for? She was on that sofa rethinking her life.
She said,
she was staring deep down into the floor like she didn't want to make eye contact. I do find it odd, though, that I've never seen Marge be so... Marge normally gets angry when she's talked to like that. She looked kind of scared.
Oh, she did. She was mute.
She looked kind of scared. So that was crazy to me. But it's just funny to me that it took this for Dolores to go off all the shit she's seen, all the stuff. And I haven't seen her this activated since Siggy was on back in the day.
I like it. Keep this Dolores on. Sammy.
You know, I was wondering too why Dolores was so upset, but when you think about it, I think at this point they're all just tossing it out there now because Teresa has legal paperwork saying this is what's going on, and now they're pointing fingers because they all knew. But I do not think that Marge told Dolores to come over for a reunion review because it started off with "I told you," then it was "Well, I said it in passing," and then she turned it into "Why you fussing at me?" Then she said, "Well, I called and told you when you were out at lunch with Jennifer and Teresa." So you called and told her that while she was at lunch with Jennifer. It was just too many exits. Marge was sitting up there gaslighting Dolores, trying to pull her in so when it all hit the fan, Dolores can be in trouble with her. So Teresa can look at Dolores and she was a bad friend. And I think that's really what kind of just clipped it for Dolores in that moment. But I was confused because she apologized, but like you said, she was in the confessional saying like, now I know what you can do to, I got to keep my eyes on you. I don't want to be friends with nobody I got to keep my eyes on like that. But
exactly.
I mean, Dolores has been moving weird to me all season. Like she knows something's not right, but she's still just gonna be okay with it for whatever reason. And now that it's directly on her, she's still okay with it for whatever reason. So I'm just confused about Dolores in this moment.
She got
baby, whatever happened, whatever's going on, Marge changed her tune real quick and didn't want anything that Dolores was bringing
because it wasn't working. She was trying to trick.
It wasn't working.
She realized, you know what, girl, I didn't tell you.
You're right.
She kind of said that in the confession. She was just like, it's almost like she wanted to just diffuse the moment because if she kept saying, "I told you," I said it in the past, and she could see Dolores getting like way more upset. So, like, she was just like, "Let me just take the high road." Which she's never really done. So that's why I was like, I mean, this is the second time this season we've seen, Marge be kind of like scared in front of Dolores.
I will say another reason I do not believe that she invited her intentionally knowing it was a reunion review because weren't they discussing something with Lil Frankie too? They didn't want to be a part of that conversation.
Yeah.
So
bingo. That's a good point.
Bingo.
Also, too, if you can invite somebody over for that purpose, it's not going to be a small conversation in passing.
It's not in passing.
It's going to be a conversation you are specifically going to remember. And I don't necessarily know if Marge was scared in the sense of this bitch is going to pop me. I think in the sense that Marge really cannot lose Dolores as an ally that's going to end up on Teresa's side for good. She can't lose her over there permanently.
I think she's worried about getting popped.
Two things can be true. Two things can be true. I saw somebody put a comment up that said they were disappointed Fessler. They take back Fessler praise.
Yeah.
I'm sticking beside Fessler. She's fun. She's kooky. I think Fessler started this season with the goal of like, I'm going to have fun. Let me play the housewife game and have fun. And the minute that Jen got popped with that glass, Fessler said, oh, y'all bitches fight? Y'all bitches fight?
Fessler is the Tanya Sam of New Jersey.
I love her so, and I love Tanya. Yeah, baby, we see later on in the episode, Fessler didn't want anything to do with it. So we have Danielle.
We got a quick super chat too. I want to make a shout out to. Is it Ellen or it's Elon? But it's one of the two. I think I'm gonna say it's Ellen. Ayala says, I like, subscribe. I say it full chested. You can't change my mind that Marge is probably worse and more disgusting of a housewife than Kelly Dodd. Ooh, at least Kelly.
I don't know.
Fully her mess.
Until
I'll agree with him because Kelly owns it.
Yeah, I mean, until Marge starts being a racist MAGA Trump supporter, I'm gonna still give it to Kelly Dodd. So So Danielle and Fuda and Melissa are talking Elon. Thank you.
No, it's an L after that E. It's Elon.
Elon.
Elon. Yes. Yeah, Jamie. Yeah, get it right.
Everything is Spanish, honey.
I hate you. I try to jazz it up a little bit, put a little tahini on it.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
They're filling in, or Danielle is filling the two of them in because those bitches weren't invited either. She fills her in about the proof that Trey had about Marge, and Melissa, not knowing that Marge is denying ever talking to these ladies, Melissa's like, well, everybody in Louis' life has contacted us. Like his ex-wife has talked to everybody on the cast. And I'm like, oh, that's not what Marge was saying. Marge was saying she never talked to her. They talk about the upcoming Last Supper. Melissa is saying, well, I have nothing to say to Teresa. And I'm like, okay. Okay. The dinner is kind of the episode moves quick. It's the day of the dinner. It's Dolores' responsibility to play peacekeeper. She's kind of doing the rundown with Paulie. Paulie basically tells her, don't let none of these hoes stress her. You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. And I laughed a little bit because Dola was like, what does Teresa say? And he says, you can't give a horse water. I'm like, that sounds like something Teresa would say. That sounds exactly like Teresa. Louis is automatically in his little shot with Trey screaming about Marge, turning red, telling Teresa that she needs to demand an apology from the lady. Marge is garbage for working with the ex, that the ex has been nothing but harassing, that the ex is mentally unstable, all these things. He asks how Trey is going to respond to Melissa, and Trey says, I don't have anything to say to her. And her brother knows her. And even though behind the scenes, Louis has been, kind of encouraging her to make peace with the brother, Teresa said she is done, and Joe knows that. Marge is talking to Joe and is saying that she wants to have just one final conversation with Trey. But she tells him that her big plan is she's got dirt that nobody knows about Jackie, and she cannot wait to drop this bomb. So before we go into this dinner, Sammy, do you have any feedback or anything about Dolores playing peacekeeper, or more specifically, Louis and Trey and kind of their little conversation about the relationship being done with the Gorgas?
As far as Dolores playing peacekeeper, no. I mean, somebody has to do it. And initially, when Louis was saying those things, I was like, damn, Louis, that's kind of low. But then I thought about it. I feel like at this point, it's whatever. That nobody gave grace to Teresa when those kids were being harassed by that woman online. When Joe Gorga was yelling out Jennifer Aiden was a hoe at BravoCon, nobody cared. So hell, if Louis feel like the whole family needs to suffer, then in hell, everybody needs to
suffer. Danny.
I just laughed at Melissa saying that, sometimes it's okay to just say it's over and done. Baby, Teresa said it to you last reunion. Like, what
else to you since then? Like, what are you talking about?
Did you not get the memo? Like,
they sat there and they really had that whole little speech, like as if Teresa was just burdening them and bothering them all season. They just finally want to put it to rest. I'm like, y'all are really delusional. Even more so delusional, Rachel and Melissa sitting over there at the damn Pointer Sisters with those short noses, trying to toss shots at Teresa for taking on Zippic like her husband is gonna get chopped up and go from a damn meatball to a sausage link. And then on top of that, he's taking I was just like, what's
God
happening?
Damn, Sam.
It was like that when the light was blinking and dimming, that was like a sign. Y'all are going to say some dumb thing, but light bulbs were not on all the way. I just didn't understand y'all tossing shots at her like y'all all have not gotten work done. And your husband literally just did it. And he's doing the very thing that you're tossing shots at her. It was just stupid. It was a pointless scene.
My gosh. Well, my
God.
And
Cortez. I'm sorry. Oh, I'm sorry.
My bad.
I just wanted to say one other thing that, everybody says that Teresa doesn't want to make up Joe, but Joe wants to make up for her. I don't think Joe wants to make up for her. I think personally that Joe is realizing that Teresa really is done with him. And what other reason is there to keep him on the show? Because this whole season, we didn't even see none of their own life. Everything, even at the house, when Teresa wasn't there physically, she was there because they kept talking about her. Without her dealing with them, there's no reason for them to be there. None. So I think that's what I'm really scared of.
These Melissa stands gonna come for you. Cortez.
I don't really have anything to add. It was just weird. I mean, I know where Joe and Teresa stand, but when he was like, when Melissa was trying to explain, like, I guess the meeting and how she's like been going through things and blah, blah, blah. And he basically was like, yeah, no, it's not about that. Cause if it was really true, she really wouldn't say it. I'm like, what? Like, what logic is the fact that, like, I mean, I get what he's trying to say, but yeah, no. I mean, people, it's crazy that he put that on her as if she can't express herself. And it kind of takes me back to last week. I can't think of her name, that one caller we had, that the last caller, how she talked about how, Teresa has been abused, mentally, and has not been able to. She's always out trying to prove herself. Like, it's kind of evident. When he said that, it's like, okay, maybe there's some truth to that, because it's like he basically put her in a box to where she can't even express her going through something without people thinking that she, has like she's lying. And it's kind of crazy that he said that regardless of where they are. But I was like, yeah, that relationship is fried, and baby, it's just fried. So that's it.
And the irony in there was he was saying in the scene she wouldn't even say it. When just the scene before, she was saying, our girls have suffered. Like, she literally just said that the kids were going through it. So they just,
yeah. I mean, in that moment, Melissa was kind of trying to give Teresa a little, olive branch about the thing, but Joe was just like, "Nah, she's lying." I'm like, okay, well, damn, these two just, ooh.
Yeah.
What I enjoyed Louis saying, hopes Marges and her family suffers, all of them.
It was so weird.
It was a little dark.
They deserve to suffer for what they put us through. Oh,
yeah, I knew what he meant. Okay. I was like, okay.
So it's just, I can't take anything he says seriously, because his face is red and his hair is all different ways. He's like, they're gonna suffer for what they've done to us.
You sound like Ramatra.
Suffer as I have suffered.
Okay, as I have.
So we get to Rails, where they are hosting the dinner, and Dolo is the first to arrive, looking good. Like, Dolo, whatever work she got done, Dolo looks good. Well, all the work she got done, Dolo looks good. But they meet at Rails, and finally, Rails got hip to what these girls were about, because they cleaned that restaurant out and said, "No, bitch, y'all here by yourselves. Y'all like to cut up." If you guys remember, the last time a group dinner happened at Rails was the scene.
One-on-ones, please.
One-on-ones. We can have one-on-ones. My God, I forget. Jersey doesn't get enough attention for being a hot, raggedy, violent mess every single year. It is the most violent franchise. Every year something happens and they tear somebody's restaurant up.
It's expected.
I don't know. It's expected. Like, imagine them doing that at the Quiet Woman. like they would get away with that at the Quiet Woman. She's a little bit nervous. Obviously, she knows that she has to play peacekeeper. She wants things to get resolved, but she's like, I mean, who are we kidding? It's these women. We get flashbacks that are kind of like getting us up to date on where everybody stands and what their issues are. I almost forget that Teresa and Rachel actually did kind of start off on a relatively okay foot with their shared, like, husbands being, Italian and stuff like that. And so I was like, y'all actually could have been like cool. And I need to go back and watch last season, because I kind of forgot where it went completely left. But we see Danielle and Jennifer talking earlier this season, where they were in a much different space. And now their relationship has completely deteriorated. We get flashbacks over the years of Marge and Jackie, and their relationship at this point is completely imploded. The ladies start pouring in. Apparently the theme is black. Jennifer Aiden didn't get the memo and shows up in all kinds of colors. Trey is the last one to enter, which I love. She walks in, she's like, "Hello, everybody, how's it going?" And immediately,
in my opinion, arrived in order of importance to the show. But
there we go. Because how is the number one on the call sheet going to show up before anybody else? You deserve to keep the hoes waiting. She sees an open chair across from Marge, and she says, "Don't sit me across from that bitch, because she'll be wearing this food." I said, I love me some Marge, but I believe Teresa when she says that. She was ready. She sat down. She was like, I don't even want to eat. Like, let's just go. Let's get this thing started. So Dolo and Fess lay down some ground rules. They want everyone to be respectful. Everyone gets a turn. They hope that things get resolved. And she goes, okay, let's start with Danielle and Jen. And I'm like, oh, God. This is a horrible place to start. And immediately Danielle starts in on Jen. She's recounting everything about the charity. Like, that little charity comment that Jen made really hurt Danielle's feelings. Danielle was like, no. It came out of our budget. We paid everything. The private car service that came and picked y'all up, we paid for. And Jennifer's like, out of the donations budget, because everybody knows you can't afford things. And then Danielle is throwing jabs about her house, saying you have a big house, but it's empty. Your heart is empty. I know you cry by yourself at night. And when I come home to my husband, he's waiting for me at the door with open arms.
I just want to let Dollface know. Dollface said they didn't know the Lee were such tree huggers. I'd rather be a tree hugger than Melissa tonight. I'd rather be a tree hugger than Melissa Muncher. Carry on, James.
And if you watch, I actually have not been a fan of Teresa. Every single season, Teresa has gotten on my nerves and is insufferable. But at this point, I can't deny that these bitches keep coming for her, and she's always the last one standing.
I'll just say this: we didn't meet up before the live to discuss it. So it just kinda,
in passing, I asked you in passing.
It just kind of happened, It just, I mean, we see the show, and that's just what it is.
Yeah, but we see.
Yeah.
So, when I come home, my husband is waiting for me at the door, and Jen doesn't skip a beat. She says, "Oh, your husband with the boobs, and you have the brawn." I need people to understand that. I originally thought she said you had the bra, meaning that your husband needs a bra. She said brawn. Basically, she said Danielle is more masculine and aggressive than her husband is. Baby, when I tell you Danielle hit the roof,
like her first
she launched a glass at Jen and then tried to launch herself. I haven't seen production on an episode move that quick since Love and Hip Hop. Like, they must have imported these people over here specifically for this season. Trey jumped in front of Jen, like, split. All I saw was weave and Teresa turning around screaming. All right, so before we get into this aftermath, Danny, let's start with you. What were your first thoughts when that happened?
It's funny because the stuff was being thrown at Jen, but my eyes went straight to Teresa because Teresa got up fast and Jen could react. I don't know if it's because Teresa lost weight, she able to move so much faster, or what? She lied the board, but baby, she moved so fast. She did a better job of security. And I loved how, when Jaden said that Danielle has the brawn, all I thought of was the Bounty paper towel guy, and I picked that for Danielle. But in all honesty, Jen took her out of character immediately. Like, Jen poked that. Jen was trying to prove a point, and her mission was accomplished. Jen was not trying to have a civilized conversation with Danielle. When Danielle said, "I'd like to have a talk with you without blah blah blah," Jen, "Oh, that's nice. Yeah, sure. Let's do that. I didn't know you could do that. I didn't know you're capable of that." Like, she is, and you can tell Danielle just instantly went in, But yeah, that was all.
Let me So the reason why I think Jen was not going to have a conversation with her is because of the last encounter. The one, I think if that hadn't happened, if Danielle hadn't been poking at her like unprovoked, I think they could have had a conversation. But at that moment, it's like, I mean, Jen is very petty. We know how she gives it up, right? We ain't new to this. She ain't new to this either. And so she ate Danielle up. She pissed her off again. Danielle has been mad ever since that comment about the charity, and it's crazy that to start the conversation off with with her like explaining the finances, like, we don't care about that. Like, at this rate, the charity happened, whether you took the money, used it for yourself, whatever. You're making Jen, like, you're feeding into what she wants. You're out here explaining yourself. What's that to explain? Danielle needs to learn bad bitch mentality. She's supposed to be so bougie, but she is the maddest, bougiest person I've ever seen in my life. Because she's always upset. She's easily unraveled. It's like she needs to learn how to be unbothered and bougie, and both. She's neither, but She learned to be both because she just popped up and Jen just like sat there
Need at
and
least
just
be
made
one.
her get so
Baby.
mad. And I like Nate. I think Nate is
Oh,
actually
Nate is fine.
Nate is a cute man. He's a nice man. I don't see anything wrong with him. But
Strong
she,
man.
Got
she ate
boobs.
him up.
Uncle Strong Man.
But
Sammy?
Oh,
Oh, no, go.
no, I was just gonna say that people can say that Danielle got the best of Jen with that paper cup, plastic cup against the head and all that. Danielle might have won that battle, but in this scene, Jen won the war, baby. She had her crying in the bathroom like it was her first season all over again. When she spent the whole season crying, Danielle was in
What
that
are you
bathroom.
crying about? Like, what are you crying
There's
about?
no crying in baseball.
My God.
But what are you crying about?
And that's the sad thing is Rachel ate her up last season. Like, my God, Danielle, I knew you weren't shit when Rachel was eating
Marge
you up.
ate her up too. Marge really
Marge ate her up. Jackie ate her up. Like, my God.
The
This is
comment
not for
said Danielle
Danielle.
is more broad than bougie.
Very bad.
Definitely Ron, not Boo.
Sammy.
So that entire opening scene was everything to me. I find that Teresa set the tone because it was so hilarious that Jen Fester was like, "This is off to a great start," and then Teresa walks in, knowing it's supposed to be about peace, knowing it's supposed to, she literally walks in right after she says that she knows it's supposed to be like at least, saying our last thoughts and making amends. The first thing she says, don't sit me in front of this bitch because we gonna get it popping. Like she came in there and set the tone, and I think at that point everybody was just like, okay, here we go.
And Jen said, "This
You're like, well,
But
yep.
Jen
And action.
Jen won the episode to me. She gave Housewives. She talked crazy to the lady. Even when everybody was producers, everybody running around, Jen's still sitting in her seat looking around, and everybody's in a panic, and she just talking mess. The girl's crazy. She's aggressive, and she was unbothered. Like I think Jen and Teresa both at this
she
point.
backed up now. She
didn't get out of seat, and I think she really only backed up so much because Teresa damn near tackled her to the floor.
Yeah,
But-
she flew back now.
But I think
She flew back a little bit.
They came in, I think, at this point, no longer wanting to play the Housewives game. I think it was very much.
Yeah.
We told you last year we didn't want to be dealing with these girls. So at this point,
Yep.
this is where we are because
we're gonna show y'all."
Jen didn't care to have Danielle was trying to, come with peace and try to have a conversation. Jen's mind was made. She didn't want to talk to that girl because she started off talking mess. And the first chance she got, the smallest thing that Danielle said, Jen took off on her ass. And I wasn't mad at it.
No.
She didn't care.
I disagree. Danielle started coming out her mouth crazy and right off the bat. She said, if you want to talk about, before you talk about someone's finances, you need to look at your own. I said,
but I think she was trying to say,
damn,
your character judges someone about doing a charity. But Jen, as soon as she said, she pointed to Teresa and Jen and said, the cars that I sent y'all came out of the budget. That's not how it's supposed to work. You were supposed to pay for those cars.
Yeah.
Jen was like, that's what I've been saying, dummy. Like Jen was like, that's what I've been saying the whole time.
dummy.
and Jen just went off on her. Jen gave Housewife tonight on that episode.
Absolutely. And y'all know I wasn't always a Jennifer Aiden stan, but baby, these last 2 seasons, she's won me over because that lady clocks in and that mouth is nothing nice.
And you know what? I love it that they keep trying to read her about Bill. She's like, at this point, what else? Okay.
He's still with me.
Yeah.
He's with me.
Take care of my 30 bathrooms in my house. So.
There we go.
Yeah, I didn't understand comment about the 14 bathrooms, empty house, and I was like, okay, but I still got 14 bathrooms.
So that right there leads me to believe y'all said that Rachel came on a fan. It was really Danielle, because if you remember Jen's first season, I think it was her second episode when she invited the women over, she made the comment, my house, I have 14 bathrooms. She said that on camera and the girls kind of read her was like, ooh, that's a little gauche, that's a little whatever. So for Danielle to, so for Danielle to make that comment, I was like, you've been watching this show. You're like, that's a very innocuous detail to remember and throw it in her face. Like, okay, girl. Who's really the fan?
It's no stranger, nothing new that Jen, they got money over there. Their house is nice. When they have like, she is rich. Like she has money.
Shit, the pool house is bigger than the house I grew up in.
Didn't Jen also say at some point at this dinner that that's why you have to make them your friends because your family don't want you?
Yes, that was another thing. No, she said
my house is filled with love because I got family. Like,
she said when people don't speak to their families, they should make their friends their family. And I was like, oh, girl, that's
was-
so nasty.
Girl,
Jen
That's
was
so
wearing
nasty.
Danielle out. And the crazy part
So-
about this is that the beef really isn't even about this charity thing. It's just, I mean, like Jen says, she feels like she treats people like shit. Do you think that's her real issue with her? I mean,
I feel like she didn't like what she did to her homegirl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And from that
Yeah.
point, it was just like, I've heard too many things at this point, and now you just, like, Jen, I live. Jen went off. That girl that you was trying to talk, Jen told her, you suck, your man's a girl, you're broke. She just went off. She didn't want
Jen wasn't prepared at Teresa's event. She thought there was a neutral ground for that day. They was all going to Teresa's event.
She came ready.
She wasn't prepared. She came ready for this.
And remember, Dolores told her, Dolores told her, if you got this much heat, tell it to Danielle. I think Jennifer said, okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, she goes, oh, you ask and you'll receive. I agree. I think that it has a lot to do with how she did the homegirl, because in that instance, if you remember, Jen said, like, and we see it all over their Instagrams, the Jersey Women are a couple of the few franchises that literally show up to every charity event to lend their celebrity, to get people there. You are always seeing Teresa and Jen and Dolores at charity events. So when she said, she was like, we go to charity events all the time. I don't like that you put up a VIP section like the club, like we're some celebrities or we're here. Like, we do this all the time. This is our reputation. Like, for you to be not paying people, for you to be doing stuff, like, I don't like that. And I kind of agree with her. So moving on, the place is in chaos. Like, production is on everybody. Teresa throws her hair around and is screaming at Danielle, why would you do that? And then Melissa, fully looking for her moment, jumps in and was like, they learned from the best, white trash. And I'm like, you married her brother. They're from the same trailer park. So, like, that ain't the gotcha you think it is. They're going back and forth, screaming at each other. Rachel is like, what is wrong with you? Production is stressed. Like, I have never seen this many production staff members since the fight with Monique and Candace. Like, everybody was front and center.
They were like, you could see them. Like, they were just pacing around the table.
It was there at that christening. In the
yep. They learned really quick. It's the one lady, that little short lady with the frazzled hair that looks stressed every episode. These women be stressing her out.
Quit by now. She's probably happy to be placing these hoes.
The thing that took me out is they're telling everybody sit down, trying to get, and initially Jen says she doesn't need to be here. I want her gone. And production is like, we may need you to leave. Danielle says, oh man, come on, don't make me leave.
And the other production person was like, I mean, you're lunging over the table. Like,
what? She was like, if you lunge over the table.
I want to say.
It really reminded me when a kid gets around, oh man, come on. The ladies are all whatever. So finally Danielle is like, I gotta go. So I think production kind of separates them, and Danielle starts crying as she's leaving. I actually, because I don't know what production thought it was a good idea to have her come behind Jennifer Aiden. They don't work in this type of environment. That's how you know these white folks don't work in this type of environment, because they just let these ladies walk around everywhere. But surprisingly, she doesn't pop Jen one more time, but Jen was still running her mouth. And if I was Danielle on my way out, I definitely would have popped her one more time. Jen was sitting there like, so Melissa and Teresa are screaming at each other, having some weird pose off that reminded me of Marlo and Sheree. Like, they're just posing back. And I'm like, what is going on here?
And Teresa won that too.
Teresa won that as well. So Danielle's leaving crying. Dolores and Rachel are trying to console her. And then here comes Teresa, walks right up to her and says, why would you do that? She goes, Marge, do you see what Marge is doing to me? And Danielle was like, Teresa, it's not about you right now. Like, this is not about you. And Teresa's like, I'm just saying. And so Danielle was like, it's not about you right now, Teresa. And she runs to the bathroom in tears. And Teresa still is talking to herself. I'm just saying, like, you know, I'm not getting violent. I'm not getting violent. It's the ladies, like, they're all sitting there. So Danielle is trying to get under control. The ladies are kind of talking. Melissa's like, you can't talk about husbands. I was like, this is rich, because y'all been talking about Louis for like 2 seasons, but sure. Okay. Husbands are off limits. Marge actually said Danielle was not right for throwing that. Production comes up to Jen and is like, do you want her to leave? And Jen says, no, actually, I give her permission to stay. She should stay. Let her stay. I'll do that for her. And I'm like, that's big dick energy. Like, that's housewife energy right there. In the middle of all of this, Fessler has her drink. She's shaking. She's looking around, and that bitch gets up, gets her pocketbook, and punches it. She was like, guys, I can't do this. I don't want no parts of this.
Worst mediator in history.
And they're like, you're the mediator. She goes, I can't mediate this. I've never seen that lady move so fast in her life. She booked it out of that restaurant. She goes, give me a to-go bag. I'm out. I can't do this.
And was not missed.
She was gone. So let's pause right there. Danny, we're going to say something.
Oh, no, I was just going to say that when you said that comment, what Marge said that Danielle was wrong, she also had made a comment that, because Jen said to her, you heard what she said, Marge. So it's true that, because Marge said, yeah, she shouldn't have said that either. Marge did say something. Danielle did say something about Bill first. That was not on the camera. But I think my question is for the people who are so upset, or even Melissa, that Teresa called her a whore. A whore.
You are a whore.
I'm going to tell your niece that's what you think of her mother. Well, should Teresa tell your nieces that you called her white trash first? Like, you started it. Melissa wanted a moment. I think Melissa saw at that luncheon she was as useless as Jennifer Fessler at that lunch, at that dinner. Like,
y'all got to get off Jennifer. Get off Fessler. We're not doing this. Useless. Jennifer did do nothing to anybody.
I know, but this is my square. And so I think she just had to insert herself some kind of way, because Teresa was not. I mean, Teresa didn't even acknowledge her presence. Didn't look her way. That really is eating up Melissa. That really is, because she has contributed nothing. So that was really the gist of it to me. But I just know that, hey, Teresa, you upset at being called a whore, and people say that's what started their feud in the beginning. No, what started their feud in the beginning was Melissa's very first scene ever coming on to Housewives of New Jersey. She was reading Teresa, her very first scene ever. Came in reading Teresa.
What started their feud is Melissa being a Vanessa and all the other girls, all the other people that they talk to off camera, sending Facebook messages to Danielle and all them trying to be a part of the show. Melissa, she has never looked more pressed and pathetic in her entire run on the show than she did this specific episode. I did not understand her plight, like going at Teresa for what? Then let her up, bringing on the sprinkle cookies, and then you start picking with her. You call her white trash, and then she rebuttals, and then you say, "Oh, I'm gonna tell your niece you call me that." Are you dumb? Like, you're not supposed to say that back just because you're my. I'm just glad when she said that Teresa told her, she said, what she say? I'm going to tell Antonio, you said that Teresa said, my brother married a whore. So it actually tell Antonio and tell Joe. I'm just sick of you. I was so proud of Teresa. And then she gave her like, okay, and I'm done with you. You got it.
She said that was everything.
Melissa
Cortez.
I didn't. For those that like stand for Melissa, I would love for somebody to give me some kind of justification, because
ain't none.
I don't think there's any for, like, it was so unprovoked. And then I could see maybe saying something because you're a little thirsty for a little attention, but to call somebody white trash unprovoked because you would have thought that Teresa was the one, like she was like yelling at Danielle. It was so like weird. And then, earlier in the conversation she had with Joe, she made it seem like, they were done and she was going to, not say anything to her. Then why say something at all? It's just crazy. I don't know why people would defend that, because as we know, like Teresa has not really acknowledged her, but it was so unprovoked and trying to use, that she loves to use those kids as a way to
when it's convenient
for her. Like she tried to go over there and speak to your auntie. Like her and the kids, like I really, honestly, I feel like Teresa want to say, fuck them kids. I ain't gonna lie. Because the way that Melissa uses them to try to, like, wasn't it last season when they arguing about something, about the,
she was birthday. Antonio had a drive or something, and she was kind of making it seem like I don't put my kids in the mix or something.
It was something about they were arguing about the kids last season, I believe. It's like it's always Melissa, the kids. Like, stop using those kids as a way to get in this storyline. They're not
something about Antonio not coming to something or something like that.
Yeah, it was coming to the birthday or something like that.
Yeah, it was something
last
about
year.
Gia's thing or
She had
something.
a volleyball game or something. Yeah.
Yeah, but the thing is, Teresa don't use those kids in an argument. Like for Melissa to say, you just called her white trash.
And I did like the
Like,
comment
what?
Melissa made earlier when Danielle was telling her that Gia was at the meeting. Oh, she has to have her back up. Gia gonna get a hold to Melissa one of these days, and I hope the cameras is around
But
I saw that too.
She found that weird because Antonio don't even want to be around her to film. That's why she found she don't understand.
And I'm with Cortez when it comes to like when Dollface earlier said we were tree huggers. Like when Melissa and Teresa had been doing this for the longest, I never really picked a side. Like I would go back and forth because they both were the same person to me. I didn't really solidify and like side with Teresa until season 11 or 12.
The one before the last one.
When they were all on, they were on good terms and everybody started picking with Teresa about Louis, and she texted Melissa, was like, as my sister-in-law, I'm asking you to just not participate in the conversations and whatever we discuss, keep it between us. And Melissa ran her ass out there to that pool and gave everybody all the information. Oh. Teresa just said, don't do it. That's when I was like, oh.
The season when they were ziplining in the trees.
Yeah, she did. Teresa asked her not to do something, and she literally went right out there and did it with the phone in her hand on the That's when I was like, at this point, now I see whatever Teresa got going on after here, I'm on her side.
And Sean, yes, before the show was family drama, but we don't know what that drama was. You can't just automatically say Teresa was wrong for the drama. Like, none of that it was Teresa's fault before the show. No, girl, sit down.
Melissa needs to realize that at the end of the day, let's just be very clear. She's married to Teresa's brother. They're always going to be brother and sister, regardless. The tie that she has with her and them kids, it really don't even matter. It's really just her and her brother. So
the sons love her.
Right. The kids don't have no issue with them.
They care.
Yeah. They don't.
They like Teresa.
If they know anything, they know it from Melissa. Period.
Yeah.
I mean, Gia is the halftime housewife sometimes too.
The youngest one, their youngest son, it's been going on since he was born, so that's probably all he knows. Like he don't
Yeah. All right, so I was gonna say, you know what? I'm gonna keep it on pause. Let's keep going. So after Fessler leaves, everybody reconvenes. They sit down. Production and Dolores tell Danielle that she needs to sit at the other end of the table. They're like, all right, let's get back on to what we've got. Trey is like, all right, let's do it. She mutters something under her breath to Marge, and Marge is like, okay, cool. Teresa, if you have something to say to me, say it. And Teresa says it. She begins telling her about all of the proof that she had, about the lunch, about the facts. Marge starts sprouting her version of facts and lies, and this is where she trips herself up. She says, Teresa, I don't know what you're saying. I first initially talked to the ex back in some date in 2020. And Dolores' face kind of switches up. And in her confessional, Dolores recounts that just the day before, Marge says that she had not spoken to the ex until after New York. So the dates that Marge is saying to Teresa don't line up with the dates that she is saying to Dolores and everybody else, which is why I do not believe, as we see later on in the scene, that Jackie operated alone. I am full belief that Marge was the puppet master in all of this. She's just smarter than a lot of other people to where it doesn't stick. But that lady lies so much, she doesn't remember what her lies are to each people because she says so many different stories. I was kind of eyeing Dolores sideways because how did you clock that, but you didn't jump in to point out the discrepancy in the middle of it? But Marge is just lying through her store-bought teeth. Trey brings up the subpoenas, and Marge is trying to sprout her version of the story. But Trey really doesn't want to hear it. You're a liar, you're a liar, you're a liar, you're a liar. Talk then turns to the smear campaign at the reunion, and Marge says it was not a smear campaign, it wasn't a takedown. And Jackie's face is kind of like, And we see a confessional of Jackie where she immediately says it absolutely was a takedown. Marge called us. It literally, Marge says it wasn't a takedown. Cut to Jackie. It absolutely was a takedown. Marge called everybody specifically with the purpose in mind to how can we take down Teresa and Louis. And I have been lying for the last couple of years to protect her and everybody else, but it definitely was a takedown. And I'm like, baby, Marge gonna eat you up. And we see that she does. Trey calls Marge's husband Joe a plumber because she's full of shit. And the table, for some reason, just does not like Joe being called a plumber because they're like, Teresa, don't call him a plumber. I was like, you're kind of a plumber. They're cussing each other down. Dolo looks over it. Trey said Marge turned people against her and that she lied to the Fudas. And Rachel had seen her moment. She's like, oh, my lines. She jumps in and was like, well, what did she lie about? And Teresa said, Marge was the one that told you that somebody, mysterious mystery person, told that Louis was investigating or opened an investigation about you, which it didn't happen. And Rachel's like, no, that never happened. Marge didn't tell me that. But she actually makes a little bit of sense here and is the smartest thing that she has said in her entire 2 seasons of being here. She says, Teresa, maybe your husband isn't upfront about the things he does behind your back. And I'm like, that I believe. Yeah. But Teresa is going to stand by her man.
Right?
Yes. Right? Had it been from Dolores or something, Teresa being like, you know what? Yeah, maybe.
Maybe he does. Hear that from nobody.
She don't want to hear that from Fuda. So then Teresa was like, well, your husband isn't upfront about his past. And Rachel starts screaming, you have no right to bring up my husband. I was like, but you just Bob her husband, but okay, sure.
So many F-bombs. Like I said, the
baby
version, I was just like, are we grown women talking like this?
I thought I was watching Deadpool. I thought I was watching Deadpool again.
No, literally.
Very bad.
The most explicit thing I've ever disliked. It was so many
girls were cussing. If y'all have not watched the uncensored version,
they was cussing.
I mean,
they were cussing. They were doing their good cussing. Their good cussing. And Teresa's cussing right back to Rachel, saying she's desperate. She's whatever. Rachel's like, your ass needs to get checked. I was like, Rachel.
Check her, Rachel.
Now, check her, boo. Check her. Marge is interrupting everybody because she's like, I have a plan. Jackie's not leaving here unscathed. So she was like, actually, Teresa, I am so sick and tired of these lies. You need to know something. Jackie is the one that had the ex over at her house. And baby, when I tell you, the girls were gagged. And Jackie just sits there like, you're a liar. No, that never happened. What are you talking about?
Melissa,
I'm like,
Melissa saved Jackie.
Yeah. She, and that's how I know Melissa also knew. And so I was like, if Melissa knew, Marge, you sat there and lied and said, I just found out last week that Jackie was the one. I was like, you did not find out last week. You are a damn liar. Liar. Jackie is denying. She starts cussing Marge out. But in her confessional, she was like, you know what? Yes, I did do this. It was when Teresa and I weren't on good terms. I had the lady over to get information. Melissa kind of jumps in and is like, well, Jackie, like, if you did this, you probably need to say it because if Marge is saying it happened, she probably has proof. And there's like the longest 2-second pause that I have ever sat through. And Jackie's like, you know what? Yeah, I did it. And Teresa says, ha!
She said, what?
She said, I hollered. She said, huh?
I thought Teresa was going to pop her.
I thought so she was going to like explode.
Baby.
I was like,
but believe it or not, Teresa was smart. Still knows that was.
Yeah. And Danielle and, Jackie and Mitzer told the whole thing. And she was like, that's fine. I get it. Marge is upset because her plan did not work. She was like, oh, it's okay. What do you mean it's fine? And Melissa, again, tries to get a little crumb of attention. It's like, she doesn't like the sprinkle cookies, but that's okay. And Teresa's like,
it was a sprinkle.
It's a sprinkle. Girl, leave the sprinkle cookies alone.
Sprinkle cookies?
She goes, we're not getting on that shit. My God, let's move forward. But Teresa's like, okay, like, I started a rumor about her husband. Like, okay, cool. Marge is pissed, but Jackie, baby, that girl is shaking. She's like, sits there a little bit. She's like, I think I'm going to go, y'all. Y'all have a good night. I got to leave. Jackie, I have never seen anybody walk out of a room so sad. Like, Jackie had her little purse and was just like,
full, baby.
She thought that was the end of it. Teresa never going to be my friend again. She left so. I hollered at the scene where she gets outside. I know those little heels were hurting her feet. She was walking all.
Maybe she walked outside and said, "Woo."
No, but she turned that
said-
corner.
what he
And
said?
That's when I hollered, Danny, when she was hitting the corner, and then they said, "Look at her, she's scared to hit the fucking corner," and then she started backing up. She started backing up, so they wouldn't see it, but they had already saw her.
Bitch.
Down last night.
My God. You know what it reminded me of? You know that meme of SpongeBob where he's in his house with his hand against the door and he said, that was Jackie outside of that corner.
But you know what, Jay?
Yeah.
I might be canceled when I say this.
Oh,
But they stressed Jackie out so bad. I know she picked up 5 pizzas on the way home.
Yeah, she
was walking out like she had pooped on herself and was trying not to let it drip down.
Oh my God, that poor lady. She's like, maybe I'll just walk home. Maybe I'll walk home.
What I was gonna say, I'm not mad at Teresa. If anybody had the right or should have been trying to do something at Teresa, Jackie was the only girl at that table.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's my point.
So for her to say, look,
and Teresa understands that.
Me up, so I need to be, and that's why Teresa was like, listen, we good.
There is and
everybody's like, well, Teresa does the same thing. Now, if Teresa got mad at Jackie, then they would have said, well, you do it too. And now Teresa's like, girl, we even. Oh, she's so fake. So there's no winning. There's no winning.
Yeah. So the line is constantly moving for her.
The line is always
moving.
It's easy to do that to Teresa because she's been there the longest. And everybody says that she's got into it every cast member. They all get into it every cast member. It's just. This
is what I was saying last week when Sammy, when you was making your point last week, I think to Sean or somebody about like how they were saying Teresa does this thing. Like this is an example of like I didn't even have to hear Jackie explain it for me to be like, okay, they had a clear issue.
Yeah.
So I mean, you when you somebody coming at you, you trying to find me. I'm gonna listen to the laundry lady too. Like what you know about this girl? So I get it. Like it's not right, but I mean. In the heat of an argument or a beef, like there is nothing you can do. So I do think Teresa was upset, but I mean, she kept focused because clearly it was Marge, and Marge is a liar still because there's no way you're gonna tell me that you just now talked to this woman now the same.
And you and Jackie were like this,
right? Like, so where you get her number from? So you talked to her before.
You said it was only in the DMs. Remember that it's only in the DMs, but now you called her.
There were a lot of things,
and they never met her, but you seen her in person at events. Girl, you talked to her.
There were a lot of things
you talked to her
to let me know that not only did she probably talk to her, Melissa definitely listened to her something.
Yeah.
And last week when we talked about this episode, y'all somebody was like, they don't think Jackie knew, and I said yes, she did.
Yeah, that was me.
I knew that Jackie would have known. There would be no reason why she would. She's the only person that truly had a right to be trying to get dirt on Teresa, whereas Marge had no true business getting in her business at all.
Yeah, I also think that Jackie never thought that Marge would come out and say that because even Teresa said it in I think a preview came out today that that if Jackie met with her, it's because Marge set it up. Marge told her, "Here, you can have this for ammo when you go at Teresa," but go ahead.
Marge is not innocent. Marge is not absolved of anything, honey. She is guilty.
Oh, this is what I was gonna say. And even if Jackie did this on her own, it still is come back to Marge full circle because her and the plumber are the ones that started the rumor about Evan anyway.
Yep.
And that is the reason Teresa and Jackie got into
Marge really feel like she's like the queen of them girls. Like even when she was making a comment about how Jackie's so I'm so done with Jackie. How could you go sit at Teresa's house and listen to this mess about me? Girl, did you forget you just flashed a damn screenshot to Dolores?
Listen.
Jackie owes you nothing at this point. It was just they just showed how for Teresa to be the dumbest girl out of all of them, she probably made the most sense at that table with her little facts and her paperwork. Everything else was just like even when just think about how Jackie got so pissed off when Morris brought it up and Jackie started screaming and cussing, trying to say she was alive, just to say, okay, girl, I did it. Like they all just sat there and Morris screaming and hollering, I didn't meet with the lady, and then I did it. Like it was Teresa probably was the brightest bulb in the room at that moment.
She did not lose focus. Marge, you're not going to change my train of the target for me. Right now, it's you.
Melissa, you can keep talking. I don't hear nothing you got to say.
Jackie said, we'll talk later. Teresa said, yeah, we will, bye. And she kept right.
Yeah. And I do to this comment about them not being friends. That's probably clear. I mean, let's not forget
They were just together last week at dinner.
Well,
Yeah, they're friends right now.
What I'm saying is, in the episode, in the season, remember Teresa made her comment about Jackie.
Yeah.
And basically was like, "Girl, I don't care about her like that." So I mean, if they were not friends, oh well.
Right.
I mean, Teresa knew what she was doing. She clearly had an agenda. You know, I don't think this changed the agenda. She got what she needed.
Yeah.
That was the
Yeah. All right. So before we wrap it up, we're going to go ahead and put the link to the calls in the chat. If you want to call us in, we're running a little longer than anticipated. We want to hear everybody out, but we want to try to keep everything that you guys got to say under a minute, if possible. Cortez, does that sound okay for you? For the callers, under a minute? 2 minutes?
Yeah.
Okay. Keep it under 2 minutes so that way we can get through everybody. So to wrap up, everybody, nobody was seeing eye to eye. Everybody left. They didn't even do like a post, like the ladies are here now. They were like, girl, go home. And it's just Dolores looking flawless at the dinner, hair up, looking like a mob boss. Danny.
No, I just want to say Tracy. Tracy said, I bet Teresa and Jackie aren't friends today, and Jackie is an island all by herself eating pizza. No, actually, they both have said recently, I watched what happened the other day, are still very much friends to today.
Okay. I can see that. I mean, you know, sometimes you have issues with somebody and y'all come back from it. I mean,
they got a mutual enemy. Your enemy is
Housewives. One thing Housewives can do is they can come back to being friends. Kim and Nene were friends many times, and they were enemies many times. Kenya, all these people. So
Kenny and Portia were about to be friends.
Look,
I mean, just look at what these people have gone through. So much can happen. So you just never know. Madeline, we talked about the sprinkle cookies. We did. We talked about that.
I don't want to talk about it. No.
We're tired of these sprinkle cookies.
The pinoles.
All right, we got some callers in the queue. If you're gonna call in, the link is in the chat. I'll put it in again. You don't if it's not a lot of callers, you can have a little more time. But if it's a little crazy, then we'll just kind of cut the time down. But for right now, just feel free to call in. Our first caller is going to be Elon. Hey, Elon, did I say it right?
Oh wow, did I get on?
Yeah.
Oh, yes, you did. Hello.
Whoa, hello.
You gave a super chat, so we'll put you in the VIP line. You have to come on.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Yes, so you pronounced my name correct. My name is Alon, and I just wanted to say really quick, it just needs to be gutted, restarted from get. Like it does. Nobody wins at this point, and it's really disappointing. It's really sad to see. I saw a meme video today of like where it started and where it's going. It's really disappointing to see how it just dissolved to this point. Like you can be a Tree fan, you can be a Melissa fan, but it's just so sad to see a franchise like flicker out like this, because like there was so much potential. There is still so much potential, but like everyone is just so disconnected. Everyone always has an agenda. Like honestly, I stand what I said. Like Marge, I think like really she did something to this franchise that like has never been done to any other franchise. Like it's just like a weird reach around. She has something on everybody, and that's not what the intention of this show should have been. And now it's like it's weird. It's uncomfortable to watch. And honestly, at this point, like I think like I love Teresa. I stand Teresa. I'm a Tree stub. But like I would rather her like go promote some product on Instagram at this point than see her continue to get bashed on this show. Because it's not a good feeling. It's not a good thing to watch. I mean, like to see Melissa like sit in that moment to be like, oh, white trash. But that's like, girl, that's like your kid's aunt, and vice versa. Like that is like your niece's aunt. Like it's not a good feeling. It's really awkward to watch, and it makes it really uncomfortable. And like we watch reality TV for mess, right? But after a certain point, when it becomes like real like that, whenever a family gets involved like that, it's not okay, and it's weird. It makes it uncomfortable, because at the end of the day, like Melissa got to report back to Joe, that, okay, well, I kind of went off the handle and I kind of called her this,
She
and
ain't gonna
that.
do that.
He doesn't care. He
I
don't
mean,
care.
he might
She's
not
not gonna
care.
do
He
it,
might
by the
not
way.
care. But at the end of the day, these kids are watching this afterwards, So it makes
Yes.
it weird. It just makes it weird and uncomfortable. So at this point, I say just like scrap it all, start all over, like just start fresh. Like New York was not the best
Oh,
hard launch, but like at the end of the day, we got to stop this toxicity of like these years of like you know these years of like what am I trying to say of feuds. Like it just has to stop because nobody's into it anymore.
I think
We got an election at
you
the end of
are
this year. We don't want
right.
to hear it anymore. We
Jamie,
don't
we
want to
got
see it on our TVs for entertainment. Like, I'm sorry, but
No, I
that's
agree.
my 2 cents.
okay.
I agree. I think what really happened is when you have strangers and friends, when you fall out, it's kind of one of those things where it doesn't feel as serious as when family does it because you don't fight with anybody the way that you do with family. When family hates each other, that's years and years in history of volatility. And I think
Yeah,
when you have family that goes at each other the way the Gorgas and the Giudices have, and you have friends that come on and start beefing with the family member that is their friend is beefing with, and that family member doesn't say, hey, that's still my family at the end of the day. You don't have the right to treat them like that. That's when lines get crossed. And that's kind of what happened here because Melissa wasn't putting a stop to things that should have been stopped. And so Marge then was given free reign to go and attack Teresa and anybody who kind of got on her side as much as possible. So
yeah.
Teresa is not Teresa's not perfect by far,
No, no,
but she is
no,
as much to blame for this. She called that lady a
no.
stripper and brought her ex-boss on the show. So like Teresa's a
She
little
should have
dirty
been
too.
stripping.
All right, we got some more
Exactly.
callers.
Teresa was a mess
Excuse me.
years
We
ago,
got
but
another caller.
Hey,
Sorry, not
we got some more callers. I got to let you go.
yes,
Okay,
yes,
I got
yes,
to
yes.
get some more.
Jamie,
not I
really
broke
quick,
my own rule.
Y'all
really
follow each
quick.
other on Twitter.
I love your open shirtness. Okay, thank you.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Okay.
Love Island.
Jamie, if you're gonna set a rule, you need to abide by it.
Selena
And
Island.
really quickly, there was a
Sorry.
super chat that I missed earlier from DM Rocks in the comment. Thank you for the super chat, DM Rocks. It said
Thank you, DM Rocks.
Teresa was playing bodyguard when Danielle threw the picture at Jennifer by blocking Jennifer and got to her faster than security. Yes, she did. Teresa has a very fast reflex. Let's not forget. She is no stranger. All right, our next caller is going to be Moonchild. Hey, Moonchild, how are you?
Hey.
Hey.
Hi guys.
Hey, how are you?
Okay, so I took some notes.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Now you
Uh,
going is it gonna be like a 10-minute note? Oh, okay. Because I got some more callers in the queue, so I want to get them on
right.
too.
That was Kim D who bought the ex-boyfriend and the ex-employer who said that Melissa was the stripper. That was Kim D. Teresa didn't know anything about it. I want to clear that up. Uh, Jen won that war, so you
Yeah.
guys was right. She cleared. She definitely cleared. I want to bring up the fact Marge. Everybody know Marge is still a liar. The way she flips and trip. Oh my gosh, she thinks she's so smart. I swear,
Mhm.
Marge is not smarter than me. She thinks she is. She's good. She's good, but it's really hard for people to really see Marge when production throws that cloud over top of Mars to make people second guess things because I remember,
Mhm.
because I have a great memory, when Marge sent that bracelet to the ex. And that was in
Ooh.
2021. And the ex posted it on IG thanking Margaret for that bracelet. Yes,
Come on, notes.
That Macbeth bracelet gave it to her. Yes, so just like everybody in the comments, everybody know Jackie wasn't by herself. It was Jackie and Marge together. I'm worried because it seems like Dolores is afraid of Marge and production, and she shouldn't be because she's with this Switzerland and not going out. Because I think when she came at Marge like that, like you a lion, see you, blah blah. I think a lot of that had to do with the proof that was shown with James Leonard over at Teresa's house.
It's
Mhm.
interesting.
And I think that's where a lot of that come from. Plus, She probably did know that they were meeting, but not that it was a reunion review. But then again, remember in the beginning of the season when Teresa said that Frank told her that they all met at Marge's house. That's how Teresa found out. So
Yeah.
Dolores did know. Marge didn't lie about that part, but it was kind of like a semantics type of thing. Like you knew we all met together, but you didn't know it was a reunion review. But then again, Frank told Teresa that, and Teresa admitted that that's how she found out that it was a takedown of Louis in the beginning
Yeah.
of the season. Yes, she called Melissa a whore, but she should have called her a skank.
Oh,
Or an F and four.
Melissa is jealous
My
of
God.
Gia. Melissa is
Yeah.
jealous of Gia, and I clocked that a long, long, long time ago. I'm explaining just a little bit, touch on it. Gia has Joe's heart way more
Yeah.
than Teresa. Gia is the one who has Joe's heart. I want to bring up the season real quick when Melissa twisted Joe against his family when she was crying and saying, "Oh, when we go around your parents, they don't acknowledge me. They
Mm-hmm.
only want you and the kids." So and so, and Joe felt so bad because, see, in the beginning, Melissa was thinking that she's sticking up for Joe because Joe could always complain about Teresa, and and that and throughout the whole thing, none of this family stuff would have been happening if Joe would have put his foot down and stopped trying to outshine his sister.
That was season 3 when that happened.
Okay, season
Yeah.
3. He should have never been trying to outshine his sister, and they're still doing it, which is why Melissa acted up a fool, trying to, Teresa, look at me, Teresa, I'm gonna say something to you, because she wants Teresa's attention so bad. And I don't know what part don't she get that Teresa ain't with you. Okay. That was funny as crap when Jen said, "Oh, please give up the sprinkle cookie story." Like, you still talking about these cookies? That's too much. And yes, Marge's confession when she said she called the ex to find out why was they meeting at Teresa house. What? Anybody catch that? Did y'all
Yep.
catch that in the confession? Yeah, I called her. That's your best friend at this point.
But she should have just admitted it because nobody would
Yeah.
care.
That's your best friend at this point. But anyway, guys, that's all I got. You guys covered everything. I love you guys. Mwah. Have a good
Ma.
night. I have to go finish packing. I'm about to leave out the country in the morning.
All right, be safe travel.
Well, be safe. Have safe travel.
Thank you.
Have fun.
I am. Oh my God, it's been 15 years since I've had a vacation.
Oh yeah, baby, you better get.
You deserve it.
You come back now.
Thank you. All right, I love y'all.
Bye.
All right, our next caller is going to be Lisa. Hey, Lisa, how are you?
Hi there, y'all. How y'all guys doing?
Lisa.
How are you?
Yes, honey. Let's get that last call to hit on every darn thing I had to say. I've been telling y'all about that witch called Margaret. Baby, not only she knew, Jackie knew, Melissa knew, everybody knew what was going on. Everybody done seen the ex and did and talked to the ex, okay? I'm gonna tell you, this stuff been going on. I've been telling y'all that. For years, I've been telling y'all, mother ain't no good. That witch need to go sit down somewhere with that blonde platinum hair she got. Child, I'm telling you, I cannot stand that woman. She lies so much, child. They ought to put a line on her butt or somewhere. I'm this line. I just can't stand her. I can't stand her. And I'm gonna tell y'all, them sprinkle cookies. Girl, go sit down with them damn sprinkle cookies. I'm tired of them sprinkle cookies. Girl, send me them damn sprinkle cookies. I can eat the sprinkle cookies. We need to shut the hell up back in the damn sprinkle cookies, okay? I'm sick of it. I am really about the sprinkle cookies. I can definitely tell you, baby Jen, that is my girl. I promise you. She said, "Oh, I'm gonna sit here. And I'm gonna let her get herself together. I'm gonna let her put herself in a handbook." Jim that's sitting there, baby, she didn't even. Jim, probably when she threw the picture, Jim didn't even make a move. Jim was sitting right there, like, "Okay, what's up?" I'm like, girl, you about to get hit with a picture. Reba, you didn't get hit with Teresa blocked it. I mean, it was that then on the other end to and now then Jen said, yeah, she's welcome. Yeah, she's welcome. Now come on back. Ain't no problem. I'm like, girl, are you serious? Now I would have got up and I'm sorry. I can't be around nobody hitting me with glass, hit me in my face. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Every time I see you, we scrapping. And I'm really am. People think I'm so I don't really don't like violence. But when you hit me in my face with a glass, every time I see baby, we scrapping. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm gonna be like Muddy. I'm gonna be like Ted Champion Muddy. I'm sorry. And then on the other end, I'm gonna tell y'all something too. When Margaret sit there and telling the story, and she looked at Jackie, I truly believe in my heart, y'all. I believe Jackie and Teresa already talked about this because when it came out, Teresa was sitting there so calm. She's sitting there so calm. Now this ain't the old Teresa. We ain't the Teresa we know. Because the other Teresa will say, "What bitch? You did what?" And you know that. Y'all know that. Come on now, y'all got to bring it up. You know Teresa would have said, "What? And you did what?" I really do believe Jackie told Teresa already, and they had already had a plan going on. Because Teresa to me was so calm at that moment. She was so calm. I'm like, why you so calm for everybody else? Like, nah. I'm like, nah. And take two, I was not surprised. Everybody else thought they was.
Yeah.
I was not surprised to see the Jack got her hands dirty. I was not surprised. I was not surprised to see everybody kind of stunned to see it was Jackie. I was not surprised because if Margaret knew, Jackie knew. That's how close they was. Okay, come on
Yeah.
now. You know they close
I
like that.
agree.
Don't play. Don't stop
All right,
playing
Lisa.
like y'all. You didn't know. Cause I'm gonna take. Can I take something else too? This
Lisa, we got
season,
two more
Jackie
callers
really
though,
didn't
baby.
say nothing quickly. I know. Okay, I'm just
I
like
got
saying that right there. But I love
I love
y'all.
you. I
Love
love you so
you.
much, man. We'll talk to you
Thank
soon. We got
you.
two
Love
more
you.
callers on there.
Wait,
Thank you so much.
All
Bye,
right, we got
Lisa.
two more callers in the queue. I'm gonna let y'all on. You know, I hate to cut y'all, but y'all got to be a little
I'm
you know,
organized.
not as lengthy. But hey,
That
classy lady, how are
lady.
you? The
Hey,
classy.
classy lady.
Hi, how are you guys? Well,
Good.
okay. Good. Well, first of all, I want to defend Danielle's tears because I know when I get really really mad, I cry too. So I don't know why. I always say my tears are not a weakness; they're a warning. So I think that she was just really angry, and she just became really emotional about it. So that's why I think I'm gonna defend her tears. She's like Candy. Candy cry when she mad, you know. Um.
Candy cry all the time.
Don't try to turn this into something else now.
Okay.
Oh, oh Lord.
About crying and fighting. Now, I also think that they need to add a paramedic or a nurse to the production crew, since there's always there's an allergic reaction, there's glasses flying, there's people getting cut in the face. So I think that I would behoove them to try to do something about that as well. Um, I also, I also think that Teresa. I do agree with the other two callers that Teresa already knew about what oh, I forgot her name, Jennifer or not Jennifer,
Jackie,
Evan's wife. Yeah.
not Evan's wife.
Already knew they because she seemed like she solely was putting a focus on Margaret. I mean everyone's probably so I even know who was the ex. I talked to the ex before, so I mean like everybody's talked to the ex already, and and it's just I don't think that um it's old news, and I think she had her target, especially when Melissa was trying to interrupt, trying to get she was trying so hard to be a part of this argument, that she just throwing things in the air trying to get something to catch Teresa up on. And Teresa was like, she had like she didn't want to talk to her at all. Like I'm not gonna let me deviate from my mission. My mission is to get Margaret. And so, I mean, she did the whole horror thing back and forth, but that was nothing. And I think I said that. I mean, I know at the end, I think that Margaret must have something big on, or something that Dolores does not want out, or something, because she acts too. Uh, she's not the same Dolores season one Dolores, or when we first met her. I mean, in a sense of she seemed too scared to jump in. Seemed like she wasn't a good referee, good mediator in my mind. I think she should have told some people to calm down. I think she should have made some people, feel her toughness. Okay, and I think that, especially at the last reunion, there was something that about her son, and she was just like, "No, thank you, Louis, for the job. Frank, don't say anything. Such and such." And so, if there's something else behind all of that with Frank and or with her son and Louis and all that stuff, and tied up together. So why she still got to be faithful to Tree, and she don't want to get Marge's best, because I think that I personally just think that she knows something. I don't know, no. Lucia, I'll tell you if I know something, but I don't. I think that she has something on her. That's all.
Okay.
And yeah, I guess that's it. That's all I wanted to.
All right.
To say. Oh, and
Class,
no,
we
I'm not
got
gonna.
somebody in the queue, so I'm about to let you go. Okay, we got the last person in here, so we'll be
Oh
on.
no, it's okay.
Okay, I appreciate the commentary, but we gotta.
Classic lady.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank
Thank you for always calling in and supporting us.
Have a good night.
For a while.
Good night, Jamie's chest. Good night.
Come on, not
She
Jamie.
said good night, Jimmy's chest.
Baby, they is living for
the
Jamie's
lean
chest
is
tonight.
lean is blind, baby.
All right. We're gonna need you to put your chest up. You're distracting everyone from the show. If you wanna see some that chest and more, go to his Twitter. You'll see.
I got the boobs, and who has the brawn?
Nah, I guess.
Bring on this last caller. I gotta get off.
Now he want to leave. He's titties out. He want to leave. How you doing, Justin?
Hey y'all! Oh my God! Yeah,
Hey, Justin.
I'm gonna just sum it up like real quick.
Okay.
One thing. Why was Melissa there? I said it from the beginning. Why was she here? Why was she even at this finale? I feel like everybody clocked in to work, even the fooders. But why was she here? She needs to be demoted to a friend of. I can't with her. Trying to get a reaction out of Teresa. It's funny, in the beginning of the season, she was like, I don't want to answer any questions about Teresa. In every little scene, she talked about her. And for me, I don't know why people are trying to say Margaret was vindicated. Margaret, you just lied. You lied. We knew this. We knew you talked to the exes. We knew you tried to take Teresa down. But the MVPs of tonight's finale were definitely Jen 8. Jen 8 left no crumbs talking about Danielle. And it's kind of funny that Danielle wants to leap over tables and stuff, but Margaret was literally making you run and cry all last season, and she didn't have none of that. It's pathetic to me. But then Jen Fester was like, I'm done with y'all. she said, I'm gone. I don't want nothing to do with y'all. But yeah, everyone did what needed to be done except for Melissa. I don't know. I still don't know why she was there. She's just, yeah. But and then Teresa, with Jackie, I feel like they're still good. I also feel like, I feel like I agree with everyone else. Teresa knew. I feel like Teresa knew already, because it was just but it was kind of funny when she was like, huh? Like she was just like that got me. But I'm not gonna lie, Margaret did make me laugh when she was like, you subpoenaed the wrong bitch. I kind of laughed. I laughed at that part. I was like, dang, that. But no, but for real, the season 15, if some people do decide to come back, I feel like the only main three, I feel like it should be. I feel like, okay, everyone should come back except for Melissa, to be honest. That's all I say. Everyone can come back except for her. But that's all, guys. Thank you so much for holding it down for this long, draining season. Y'all
No
have a
problem.
wonderful night.
Thank you.
Thank you,
It's y'all made it fun.
It has been a fun season. Thanks to y'all watching us and allowing us to get together and talk about this weird, crazy
Well,
show.
we'll see what happens next year. Oh Lord.
You know what? Maybe we will, maybe we won't. But thank you. Okay? All right, Justin. All right, Jamie, you can take
All
us
right, guys. Yeah, thank you guys so much for staying with us for this last hour and a half. We know we went a little bit longer, but this was a good episode. It's the whole entire season has been leading up to this. So we just want to say thank you to everybody who tuned in every single week that we did this mess. Thank y'all for supporting us with the likes, with the super chats, with the follows. We appreciate you guys so much. All of our regulars, Sierra Content, Give Me Shelter, Sean, Moonchild, No Chaser TV. We saw Shantae in here earlier, Antonio, Alon, everybody that joined us. Thank you guys so much. Kiki, thank you for catching your first live. And Danny, Cortez, Sammy. It's been fun, but I don't want to see you guys for a couple weeks.
Are
Like,
we
I'm good.
Big reunion next week?
So the fake reunion is next
sorry.
week. I mean, I guess we got nothing else to do. I guess. No, I don't.
Your schedule.
Danny won't be here. He just said
You're scheduled to host. You're scheduled to host, Danny. So you tell us.
I'll pass it on to Cortez for the finale.
What happened?
I'll pass it on to you to host for the to close us out next week.
Okay.
No. All right, guys. Thank y'all so much.
We will be here. Someone will be here to do the review next week. We'll be here for it. So yes, to answer the question.
All right.
The four of us will be here.
Yeah.
I'm off.
And so will 5 of us because we got us 4 and Jamie's titties. So yeah.
Well, that's technically 6.
It's just one.
Y'all have a good night. Y'all have a very good night.
It's one big thing. Y'all have a good night.
We'd love to see y'all.